So we're opening with the explosive 2 minutes that we've seen with Jen Shah on the bus getting the call that she's about to be arrested. Taken into custody. Now, some people want to know who called her and let her know the police were there. I think it was the husband, because the way she said, "Hi, honey," it sounded like a husband greeting. I knew they were going to backtrack it to 2 months earlier, and I don't give a crap about these heifers 2 months earlier. I care about the trial. So we gonna open it with the tour of Jen's new Airbnb rental that she got with stolen money. How Erica Jane of you. And Lisa shows up at her house and they gonna have a little snack. Now, Lisa, I don't know why Jen with your two-faced, but I guess it's because the rest of the cast wasn't speaking to her no way. So 6 months ago, Sharif almost divorced her, and I know he's kicking himself that he didn't. But we saw on the show you're a butt. So her husband was sick of being lashed out and being her whipping boy, so he said, "Look, I'm going to get on." But I guess you guilted him into staying. Jen said, "We in therapy, but nobody's going to take me, so I got to make this work." And you're right, although you might get a new girlfriend in prison. You could find another lady of larceny, a female of fraud, a girl of grifting, like yourself. So now Jen wants to be at a place of peace with her friend group. Well, which friend group is that? Because these heifers can't stand you and your thieving ways. However, Meredith is pissed with Lisa because she's like, you've been my friend for 10 years and now you're going to be friend with this heifer who's flashing my child. Lisa said, "Well, y'all did the same thing to me and Whitney, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander." Jen really said, "Oh, Lisa, you know I'd go to jail for you. I haven't gone to jail yet." "Well, you there now, heifer." "Got an ankle bracelet on. I hope it goes with your high-end shoes." Fendi felon collection. Across town at Meredith's house, she's putting her dog in a little tutu. So Heather drops by, and I guess Meredith got a new rental too. It's got a view. I don't think it's pretty though. It's snow-covered mountains, and it ain't picturesque to me. It just looks cold and uninviting. So Meredith and her man are happy now after their little blip last year. Well, it seemed like they had been in a blip for 10 years. This first confessional look with the gray dress, Meredith, no. I see you're trying to do that super blunt cut at the end of your hair. That's a little too young for you. The necklace is cute, but this dress, like, you're trying to give the dress is too cheap. It's that snakeskin look from the 90s. Girl, leave it there. That ain't coming back, and we don't want it back. Leave it. To me, the outfit just says boring. Meanwhile, Heather's daughter has to pick a college, and she don't know what she gonna do. The daughter seems to want to go to California, and I'm gonna support that. Utah too cold. Over at Whitney and her coot's house, her stepsons come over and they look her age. "Oh, this heifer got a skin line like Heather." "Oh yeah, that's some rosacea on that forehead." "Well, you got bad skin because it's always sunny out there and freezing, so the snow's reflecting it even more. It's like walking around with those aluminum foil things." So they all get out into the hot tub to celebrate the birthday, and sadly, Whitney drops the cake. Oh, I would be sad. Sad and mad, because I want that cake. They still giving us this fake Mormon choir transition movement. Oh, but we're at Mary's cult now. Oh, oh, oh. Girl, just have some little sleigh bells for the ski music. Mary got a podcast. She doesn't speak clearly enough nor coherently enough to have a podcast. She rambles, and her thoughts amble. So your coot stayed in Florida through the panty because he didn't want to be bothered with you, and you was holed up with your child, and he didn't want to talk to you either, so you just figured, I'll talk to myself. Girl, you've been talking to yourself for years. We can see it by the look in your eye. The thing is, you answer back. "Oh, who said I want God? I need God. I'm going to ask you, God, to bless this podcast in the name of the righteous, in the name of the holy, in the name of your spirit, Lord. I ask and I pray." We got the tambourines out and everything. Mary was upset because she wasn't able to get her tithes and offerings during the panty because church was closed. And she needs God to grift. So they talking about kids these days because her son ain't listening. And she's like, "Well, did you do drugs back in the day?" He said, "Yeah, I did marijuana." He was about to get to listing now. She said, "Oh, I smoke trees too." "Mary, you seem high on something. You're still giving me that prescription dolls tea." Mary said, I never fit into this world and I was never liked. You're not likable. You are the most off-putting person I know. She don't trust human beings. Then that means you don't trust yourself and you're untrustworthy. I think that's what it is. You don't trust anybody because you know you will lie and the truth ain't in you. Grandfather fucker. So now we got a new Asian heifer, Jenny. This heifer don't know how old she is. Okay, well, just look at your license, honey. Oh, Jesus. Now, your hair in the confessional is cute. The makeup, you could have used a little less rouge. You kind of look like a baby doll. But this cheap top, oh my goodness. I mean, I haven't seen a cheap top like that since the fools that leave Fire Island for day trips. Cheap tops. They won't get a room and stay overnight. They're like, oh, we'll just come out for the day. Cheap tops. She said, when I met my husband, I was like, he's a butterface, but what the hell? Jen said, oh, okay, Mary, you want to talk about it smells like hospital? I'm going to bring my aunt out here with her bionic legs and make you feel away. But she's too crazy to feel away. So at Jen's house of fraud, her son's turning 27, but she ain't sure. I mean, it was your vagina. I'd know. So we got Mary, Meredith, Whitney, and Heather at dinner in one of them igloos. I just feel like they smell like bad breath. So Meredith's father passed, sadly, and they asked her, did you tell Jen and Lisa? She said, yeah, I talked to Lisa. I ain't talked to Jen. Heather said, well, I ain't talked to Lisa since the reunion. Heather said, well, Jen's all over social media calling me a racist, but she wanted to act like I was her best friend, so I don't know what that wishy-washy heifer. Mary gonna tell Heather, you gonna be friends with somebody that makes you feel like crap? I'm confused. It gets me riled up. It's weird. It's weird you're getting riled up. And also, why are you here? Because none of these heifers mess with you. They iced you out hardcore last season in favor of Jen. So why are you trying to be friends with the heifers? Girl, Meredith, man, that Jen out here liking comments calling Brooks a privileged twink, which he is. Also, ain't he over 18? If you're going to play on TV with the grown-ups, then you're going to get talked about like the grown-ups. And you are a privileged twink. And a boring one at that. And she going to say, oh, he hasn't come out to her. Child. That's like coming out black. It's not necessary. We already know. We already know. The way she said there was one tweet where she called him a twink. He is. Even if he's straight, he's still a twink. Like, it's a body type. He's figuring things out. Girl, he is clean shaven. He ain't looking for nobody's beard. Figuring things out. Are they still saying it's a phase these days? So Meredith gonna have Lisa over for Shabbat dinner since her pappy done passed. See if she can patch up their friendship since she want to be up Jen Shah's butt. So now Lisa and her ugly husband show up with them pale kids. Kids ain't never seen the sun. Brooks got on that same basic, boring, black rip-off of off-white tracksuit. Really, you still trying to make fetch happen? Okay, girl. So Meredith catch Lisa up on the lunch that she had with the heifers, and she said linebacker Heather actually wants to apologize to you. She brought it up unprompted, because Heather know how to stay on the show. So Lisa trying to get her to make amends with Jen, and she said, well, you know, would you even be open to hearing her? And she's like, if I have to explain to her how that heifer hurt me, she owes an apology to my family spreading rumors about my merge and my sissy son. Well, those aren't rumors. That's just acknowledging a fact. The boy is a twink. Meredith said, look, I understand the heifer didn't have some troubles, but she can't use that to be mean to other people, and she's done that for a year. And she has. That's why she's losing her merge and her freedom. Oh, are they giving us an extra half hour or just an extra 10 minutes? So Lisa's saying, well, you know, the same thing happened with me and Heather, and I can't say that you're not hurt, but I was hurt too, and I was able to move on. Girl, this heifer came for her child and her husband. And again, told stuff about her marriage that nobody was privy to, and she told her as a friend. Also trying to get her on camera smoking cigarettes. She's a deceitful little heifer. If I was Meredith, I'm like, I don't have anything to hear from her. There are no apologies because the behavior remains consistent. So you can apologize, but without changing the behavior, which you don't, what's the use? You just gonna do it again and put that doo-doo nail in my face. Doo-doo brown. So Meredith said Lisa ain't acknowledging the fact that Jen Shah is still talking crap about my family. Girl, they couldn't read this prayer. They out here just mumbling. Ain't like no Hebrew I done heard. At least Leah knew her lines. Well, that was the shit. Let's get to po-to, man.